YouTube, what's the deal? It's your girl Jahira, and I am back. Hey, y'all. I am coming through to post this as a video response to my sister, the lovely and inimitable T.S. Sexy Chanel, and a video that she did entitled The Bully Talk Yet Again. In this video, Chanel directed us to a video that was posted, I believe, in late August, by a 14-year-old boy who, using cue cards, explained that he was bullied, he is being bullied and has been bullied, that he has had suicidal ideation from second grade up until he was getting ready to start the 8th grade at the time of the video, that he sometimes or sort of hated himself. I'll clearly post the link to the original video below. And I watched the video and I cried, as I am wont to do. And Chanel had touched on her It Gets Better video. And I haven't really talked about my It Gets Better video ever, because it's one of the if y'all remember, those of my subtastics who go back a ways do recall that I did an It Gets Better video. It is probably one of the videos I have done that I have hated the most. And that is because, to me, it felt very melodramatic. It felt very contrived. I felt that I needed to be very deep and poignant in order to get a point across. In retrospect, I don't know so much that I appreciate the It Gets Better movement, but that hasn't necessarily been the reality for me. And what I'm about to say is kind of echoing a lot of the sentiments that Chanel has stated, and she's going to do it far more articulately than I ever could. But my whole thing is not that it gets better. It's just not. My whole standpoint is that it is better. It is better the instant that you declare it is. I am a huge believer in manifesting one's destiny, in manifesting one's reality. And to get into my own testimony, or just to touch on it a little bit, I don't think it's going to come as a great source of shock and awe that I was bullied in school, mercilessly, from right around the second grade. It's kind of sad, the parallels. But I wasn't like the other kids, needless to say, and I was teased and taunted and hit and kicked and bit and scratched, and it never really ended. And then all of those things sort of happened to me emotionally going through middle school. It was not an easy road for me, and I did talk in a private video that, you know, the first time I attempted to self-injure was in the 5th grade at the age of 10. I, like the boy in the video, whose name is never mentioned, became a cutter. And I started to self-harm and break skin, I want to say at 14 years old. Yeah. I want to say 14. We'll say 13, 14. But I cut myself with knives, with shards of glass. I do have scars, which were covered by my tattoos later on in life. But I know the reality of waking up in the morning and dreading the thought of having to endure 8 to 9 hours at school. I know this well. And I'm just here on this video at this moment to say that the moment that things turned around for me was exactly the point when I decided, for lack of a better way to put it, fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck this of me getting treated like, and going home feeling so terrible and crying and locking myself in the bathroom and cutting and wishing I was dead. And being so hurt as to why nobody understood me. Fuck the fact that I couldn't go to my parents and explain to them that I was hurting because I didn't know how to put into words what I was feeling, and I didn't want somebody to tell me to just toughen up. Like, fuck me wishing I was dead trying to live someone else's truth instead of living in my own. And this is the point that I really feel like we have got to drive home to our younger people. Because I went through phases of really trying to fit in and thinking to myself, if I could just act this way, or if I could be like those kids, then I would get the same respect that, you know, they within their own little concentric circles got. But the moment I decided that who I was, just as I was enough, was more than enough, and that simply by virtue of having a heart that beat and lungs that breathe meant that I am supposed to be here exactly as I am, suddenly the bullying and the teasing and the taunting and the misery that accompanied me every single day, I was somehow able to compartmentalize that into, you know, yeah, they don't understand me, and yeah, they're making fun of me, but they don't know me. But I know me. And knowing me is a pretty freaking great thing to experience, because I'm worth that. And it doesn't happen overnight, and it is a constant process and a procedure of having to remind yourself over and over and over again. But it's real. It's real and it works. So the It Gets Better campaign, I'm all for it. I'm a big fan, and I appreciate the people who have taken the time out to stand up and encourage our young people. But, you know, 18 years old is not some magic switch that turns on that suddenly makes all your wrongs right, or all your crooked straight. It just doesn't work that way. There is no magic age that suddenly, you know, a trumpet's gonna blow and angels will sing from over the horizon that you have now crossed the threshold into getting better land. It doesn't happen that way. It's an internal process. And I'm telling you now, and if any of my young people are listening and watching this, please hear me when I say, the moment you declare that who you are is enough, it is better. It has already become better. Because you will realize that no matter what people try to throw at you, you can stand firm on who you are. And that is a level of power which can only be experienced through making that declaration, making that statement, screaming to the top of the universe that I'm here, I belong here, and I will not be moved. I want to see a world where our young people don't feel that putting a rope around their neck or a razor to their wrist is the only way out of their current circumstance. The change, the shift that has to occur in order for you to feel okay must begin within you. There is no other way. Because kids can be jackasses. And that's just the reality of it. And no matter what we try to say, there are some parents out there who have raised pure jackasses. And we've got to go in and encourage our children to build themselves up enough so that the slings and arrows that extraneous forces try to pin upon them doesn't sink in quite as deeply. It can be done. This is not mission impossible here, but it has to begin with us. There's just no other way. Chanel, thank you. Thank you so much for once again shining a light on an issue that desperately needs to be discussed. And I appreciate you. I love you. Y'all, every link will be below. Please, if you have not before, check out my sister, Tia Sexy Chanel, and come away as I do, a whole lot smarter than I was before I clicked play. Do that for me, alright? I'll talk to y'all later. One love.